welcome back to Linda's Pantry. So today I've got a food storage idea for you, and I know I've done this before. I make my own garlic powder and it's time to fill up that half-gallon jar so I have plenty on hand. And I thought about the other day when I was chopping up garlic for frozen garlic in olive oil that it was so much easier to do it this way. And when I showed you in the past, I used my slicer on my KitchenAid. And so I'm going to show you a little different way to do this. It makes cleanup a little bit easier and it takes less time. So we're going to do 3 pounds of dehydrated garlic, and then we're going to turn that into garlic powder, and we might leave some of it into the chunks. We'll see how it comes out. I've never done it this way and I think it's going to work out really, really well. The pieces would be good to rehydrate in soups and stews and that kind of thing, so I'm anxious to see how it comes out. So if this inspires you to stay with me for this food storage idea, putting stuff back in your pantry doesn't have to be hard, and it can be very inexpensive. Garlic powder is expensive, so why not do it yourself and save some money? All right, guys, I hope it inspires you. Go down in the description box and check out my Wild Tree website, where you can get all natural, all organic products over there to help in your recipes, and or search for recipe ideas, switch out Wild Tree products for what you have on your pantry shelves. And then right next to that is my Facebook page. Go over there and hit that like button and join in on the conversation. All right, guys, let's go make some homemade garlic powder a little easier. Okay, guys, so this is what I'm going to do with this garlic. Now these are 3 pounds of whole garlic cloves that are peeled, and I've done this in the past, and I ground it up into powder, but I think I'd like to have the option of just having dehydrated, more of a chopped version, because I really like that too, you know. Most often when I do it fresh, I chop it. So that's what we're going to do with this package, and then, or at least part of it. The other day when I was doing the garlic for the oil, I just noticed how easy it was to clean that up, and I didn't have it scattering all over. And as much as I love using my KitchenAid, as the old girl just hangs in there, I think I should save all of her leftover energy, what's left of her, for bread and pizza dough and that kind of thing. But anyways, and meat grinding. I use it for meat grinding too. But I thought, you know, this is another way. If you didn't have a KitchenAid or you didn't have the slicing attachment, here you go. So let's get chopping on this. I'm going to turn it on. It's going to be kind of loud, so I'll bring you back when I've got it all chopped up. And I do want to point out that you want to pulse this. That way it throws it up and around. You don't want to turn it into mush, but you do want to pulse it. And this is just perfect. It's perfect. Let's see how good you can see that. Let's show you. It's just all minced up. And minced garlic, how many recipes do we use minced garlic in? I just used like 3 cloves just a minute ago. So this would be nice to have on hand. When I'm out of fresh, I will have this. Because if you've never had a homemade garlic powder, oh my gosh, you're in for a real treat. So I've got my blade here that I'm trying to hurt myself with. Set that on a napkin, and I'm just going to go ahead and get my hand in here. And I'm wearing a glove mainly because I don't want sticky garlic all over me. But you're just going to spread it out so it has enough airflow to dehydrate. And I will say, anything pungent like this, garlic, onions, don't dehydrate it in your house, or try to, because your house will smell like not very good. It's not good. So it's cold and blustery outside. I'm probably going to put this in the garage, and then because the wind and the rain, I don't want it getting rained on. So now I can put my blade back in and go for round 2. And this is how easy it is. I mean, you can't gripe about this. It's pretty darn easy. Put the lid back on, and you can do this all pretty much one-handed. All right, So I'm gonna go ahead and keep busy, and I will bring you back and let you know how many trays I get out of this. All right, so that made 6 full trays, and I mean this one's really full of garlic. 6 full trays. It already smells delicious in here. It's like I wanna whip out some lasagna already. But I don't like running the dehydrator partially full if I've got things in my refrigerator that are about to be going south, and so I just kind of do an inventory. Now that doesn't always work out. Sometimes I just run it with a few trays. You want to run it with a minimum of 4 trays so you have plenty of air circulation, but and I'm not sure if that's true with the Excalibur. This is a Nesco dehydrator, and I've been through about 3 of these. My next purchase, if I'm blessed enough to come up with the extra money, will be an Excalibur, because I've just heard nothing but wonderful things about it. So I've got some kale that I've been using, but I think I'm probably gonna not be using it soon enough, so I'm gonna go ahead and dehydrate some kale, and I've got some cremini mushrooms. And so my extra 5 trays, I'm gonna put some extra vegetables on there and put those back. So I'll bring you back when we're loading up the rest of it. So I've got my kale, which this was quite a bit of kale. Now, I get this organic kale at Trader Joe's, and you're gonna wanna pick through any iffy spots. When I cook with it, I usually will take, like this piece here has a big woody stem in there, and I would take that out. I'm not going to worry about it so much because I can take it out later when you pull the kale away dry. It just really comes off easy. So I'm not going to be super concerned with that. So I've got 1 tray here. We're going to put this tray on top. Make sure you can see all that. Can you see? There we go. I'll put that tray on top, and then I'll load this next tray. And that only leaves me 2 trays for mushrooms, but it's okay. I'll use them up. Somehow I will use them, I promise. And now I know a lot of you are probably thinking, oh, that kale's gonna taste like garlic. And my thought process is, oh my gosh, that kale's gonna taste so good. So I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about the mushrooms tasting like garlic either, because anytime I saute mushrooms, I use garlic. So on my mushrooms, I don't ever wash these. These are mushrooms, I also get these at Costco, and these are not really, I mean, they're still closed here around there, so they're still very fresh. I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 full trays. So what I do is I put down a paper towel on a cutting board, and then I slice them up. I don't blanch mushrooms. I like the fact when they rehydrate, they're kind of on the chewier side, and they just, when you rehydrate them and use the liquor that comes off of them, it's amazing. So I don't worry about it. And I don't worry about having an even stack or anything on the tray. Just get them on there. I think people get a little bit over the top on the picky. Now, any dirt that's on here, they are grown in a sterile environment. So any dirt that's on there is going to fall off through the trays and end up in the bottom, but it's not going to hurt anything anyway. It's fine. I'm not scared. I've been doing it for years. So there we go. So we just get those men overboard there on that one. But we're going to go ahead and finish the rest of these 2 trays, and I'll bring you back and show you how much I use of that. So I couldn't have planned this any more perfectly. Those mushrooms filled these 2 trays. I've got kale, 2 trays of kale, and the rest is garlic. And I mean to tell you, it smells amazing in here. And I did want to mention, because a lot of people buy vegetables in these containers. And Paula, over at Paula's place, she saves these, and it's a great idea to save these to do your starter plan. All right, so it's finally the end result of this dehydrating session, and I've got a few more coming up. I'm going to remake a lot of my older videos just because the camera quality was low, and so I can tell you though, our garage smelled like we had lasagna going on in there or something. It actually even came into the house a little bit. So I've opened up the garage door and let that air out. So everything we own doesn't smell like garlic. But this is how I normally do it. I empty the trays out, get them onto some parchment paper. And these are the cremini mushrooms. They just came out beautiful. And washing trays, I have a deep sink that I usually will use to wash my trays. So then I use this just like the funnel this in. Now, obviously this jar, hopefully you can see it, is going to be overfilled. And I don't mind if I crush a few of them. I don't want them pulverized by any means, but I'm going to push them down in there. There's as many in this jar. If I can get them all in there, I'd be really happy. And then I know this jar is full. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to crush these up. And they rehydrate and are fabulous in soups and stews and all kinds of things. So now I can put this on the food saver and suck all the air out with that. And I've got a full ½ gallon of dehydrated cremini mushrooms. And that actually probably equals quite a few pounds of mushrooms. I'm not sure how many. So I've got a gallon bag here, and this is for the kale. The kale, I have jars too, but I'm going to put it in this gallon bag for now. I only have 2 trays, so I'm going to put it in the gallon bag for now, and this is what I would work out of on a regular basis to add to soups and stews and that kind of thing. So here, all that kale that would have gone bad, possibly gone bad before I could use it, is now preserved for a later date, and it's just fabulous. So, and there's a piece here I don't like the looks of. I'm going to throw that out and get rid of that. That's the other thing. You really are micromanaging your own food items, which we should be doing anyway, but I see so many people letting other people do it. Uh-oh. Making a little bit of a mess on the counter, but I just wiped the counters down, so I'm good. The counters have been wiped down. I use Clorox wipes and then water after that, and so I'm not worried about that. They'll get wiped down again after I'm done with this. So that's my bag of kale, and now I've got a ½ gallon jar because I have a ½ gallon jar of garlic powder that's a little bit less than halfway full, and but I think I'm going to keep this in more of not really a granulated form, but you can see it's more of a diced form, and so I think it will rehydrate really well. In fact, I'm going to rehydrate some for you while I'm doing this and see how it comes along here. We'll put some in a container like what you would use for, and remember, rehydrating, if I put a tablespoon there, it should end up to be about 2 tablespoons of rehydrated. So I'm putting some boiling water over the top of that, and you're just really covering it with water. And we'll let this rehydrate off to the side here. And Sage thinks that she should have some garlic, and you don't get any. It's toxic to dogs, baby. Anyway, so this one, the garlic, as you guys know, is sticky. And so sticky garlic, you have to kind of get your tray up, and it can scatter and be a mess. A lot of times I'll do this outside on the on a different work surface, so it doesn't really matter if I make too big a mess. But you're just going to pull this down, and I'll decide whether I want to make this into garlic powder or leave it in a diced form. But I think I'm going to leave it diced. I think this is going to rehydrate just fine, and it's going to be a fabulous added thing to my food storage and my pantry, because that's what it's all about. It's all about the pantry. So let me get this off this tray. And these, you just bend those trays a little bit and everything pops right out. So it can be a little bit on the messy side though. And then I will soak these trays individually in the sink, so they are ready to go to the next process. Check that out. You just crumble that up, and you've got perfect diced garlic. How wonderful is that? I think it's fabulous. Okay, so let's get this in the jar. And that really is all you're doing, is putting it back in the jar. And I can tell you that this is already rehydrating. I can see that it's really wanting to come back to life pretty quickly. How wonderful. I'm going to pour a little bit of the water off, just because I don't think I need that quite that much. You really just want to cover it with water. So we're going to let that rehydrate a few more minutes. In a super stew, it doesn't matter. It's going to do just fine. So I get my canning funnel, my parchment paper. So noisy. Sorry about that. And I'm going to start loading this jar. So I'm going to do the rest of the trays, save you from all that, and then I'll show you how that rehydrates. All right, so the end result is almost a half gallon. We are 3 full cups of granulated, or not granulated, but diced garlic. And I have here, I've drained it off, but I have some that I rehydrated. And I just want to let you know how soft this is. It feels very soft. Tastes like fresh. It's a little softer than fresh would be, but wow. Okay, now I'm gonna have garlic breath, but it actually rehydrates pretty quickly. And so how easy is that to put in all your recipes? You've got really delicious garlic, and if you can get organic garlic, or you've got a reputable spot to get your garlic from, that's what I would recommend. So that's a no-brainer for me. We've got our kale and our mushrooms, and that's our dehydrating for today. We're gonna do some more garlic, because I really want to have a full gallon of dehydrated garlic put back, because we go through a lot, and I like the idea of having it diced as well as garlic powder. I'll probably go to the diced a little faster, and if I need it, garlic powder, I'll just put it in the spice grinder. So I hope it inspires you to come back. I truly hope that if you like this video, you give me a thumbs up. If you really like it, go ahead and post it on your Facebook page, share it with your friends, maybe post it over on Pinterest. People are always looking for new ideas and new ways to do things, and this will save you a lot of money. I've got all this granulated garlic for $5, and I didn't waste either one of these vegetables sitting in my refrigerator. So I hope it brings you back. As always, guys, I got a ton more videos coming up, and they're all delicious and or very resourceful. So, all right, guys, I'll see you next time. God bless.